them. And my really good comparison is that when I came into 2025, there was Spirit Academy, there was Na'Vi Junior, both very similar teams in concept and in lifespan, like, you know, really the exact same. They at last year were like both teams have beaten each other 3 times, etc. It was a very competitive matchup, and coming into this year, Na'Vi Junior has, without even a shadow of a doubt, shone above Spirit Academy. And that's not because of like individuals per se. It is 100% because of system. When I look at Spirit Academy, it's always the issue I've had. I feel like their system is really lacking sometimes, and it feels very puggy. It feels very, oh, if Kioske doesn't get kills every single round, well, we're gonna lose those rounds. And with 9's firepower, their ability, I wouldn't sleep on them.
Yeah, look, I think you're making a fair point, because it does seem like it is Kaisuke or nothing in this team, and that really has me a little bit worried for maybe life after Kaisuke for the Spirit Academy team.
Sure.
Like, you know, obviously with the rumors and everything going around that, you know, and all the information that we are getting, it's not going to be too long before we're seeing him, you know, in a new jersey. So Spirit Academy right now, I would say their goals are very short term as a 5, just to try and get them and propel them as far as possible. And I think Kaisuke is that kind of player as well, that'll want to leave this Spirit Academy team in a really good position, you know, as things over the next couple of months kind of transpire. Try and get deep runs at as many tournaments as possible, and, you know, continue to put up these incredible numbers. But yeah, I think Spirit Academy are definitely a little bit, how do I put this, kind of just a one-trick pony kind of thing, you know. It is just kind of, it is Kaisuke or it is nothing. But then again, if your one-trick pony is dropping, you know, a 1.35 rating,
absolute bombs.
I mean, like, what's this? What are you to say about it?
I don't know. Like, at the end of last year, look, they went back-to-back CCTs, right? And this year, it's like nothing. So I've just been expecting a little bit more. However, we are now launching ourselves into the game. Dust 2 has been birthed, and it is just entry after entry after entry for Kioske and Mokujin. Everyone falls beneath them, and I don't think 9 even really knew what hit them.
A very fast pistol to get underway, and, you know, just absolutely roll through them up long. Spirit Academy taking names early. And 9, no money to invest in this next round, so that'll be a little bit of a problem. Already Spirit Academy off to this good start, and, you know, it might only be a little thing, but I feel like the first couple of rounds on a map that you're a pretty heavy underdog on are just so important. So I think 9, their main goal is, although they have gone for the investment here, if they can snatch 1 away early, I would be a little bit more confident in them. And
ooh,
that's a perfect way to start things off. Man 2, great headshot. A lot of men over towards short there for 9. They actually all now back away as Mantu, and he doesn't seem like he's done just yet, and he actually could have tagged a player there. Probably maybe a little bit fortunate that he wasn't hit by that scout. This is a little bit of a weird situation right now. Mokujin seems to have eyes on long, gives it up at the worst possible timing.
This round looks like it's going to unravel in front of Spirit Academy's eyes. Because it's not only this double push, but it's Mantu over on B. He's tagging absolutely everybody. So many players are low HP now. 2 of the 3 in tunnels are low. And Mokujin, well, he's also been tagged. So it's just a waiting game to see who's going to fall first. And finally, Mantu then hits another body shot onto Mokujin. Kraken's still top mid, and he's still really yet to activate. Instead, this was a very weird long push, because they didn't, like, one push down mid, Kragan stayed top mid. It was a little bit weird, but it works out perfectly ultimately. As Spirit Academy, okay, sure they get flanked, sure Mantu hits them lows with a scout, but Jack, they never got out of either mid or tunnels.
Yeah, they didn't get any real pressure on the map. They didn't really get any control that they could do anything off, and 9 really just had their number from start to finish. And you could see from like the early instances of the round how mobile this 9 team actually were. That, you know, they had 3 players over towards short initially, then 2 players went and pushed it instantly over towards long. They reinforced mid in the meantime as well, and that was just a well drawn up round there from 9. And that's what I was saying, you know, I'd love to see 9 get an early round here to just maybe upset Spirit Academy, because it can be difficult on a map that you're, you know, a so-called underdog. It's not that 9 are, you know, terrible at this map. They play it a lot and they are quite good at it, but it's just the fact that you're up against a Spirit Academy side that this is their main map. This is the main place that Spirit Academy do business, and it usually works out well for them. Already, Mantu once again, scout head shot. Wonderful timing for him to find that. And there's still an interest in this round because you still have an AK in the hands of Sypho. And the Pistols are just waiting maybe to strike somebody down to see if 9 are going to overstep the mark. But I've got some bad news for you, Spirit Academy. 9 do not strike me as that team.
Yeah, when you've got Berry in your ear, I don't think you're really a team that would be overstepping. That is a miss smoke. Sypho was able just to kind of walk ahead of that smoke, and that is the opening though. That is the second opening. Sypho with the hero AK saved from the previous round. There was some raucous shots, and I was saying it's the Kaisuke show. Sypho says move aside, because he's actually just picked up a third as well. Retake still possible, but denied by a wild spamming Mokajim, and Rolls, who had previously been tagged low. There's nothing for him to do, and that is a massive wake-up call to 9. That is not even just one person. Anyone has the potency to entry onto a bomb site. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
It just, you know, goes to show we're 3 rounds in, there's going to be fireworks in this one, man. Like, that is a crazy way to start off your day on Dust 2. Win the pistol, lose the next, and then respond like this. Sypho just collecting souls with that AK and making it look easy while he was doing it too. And that is very disappointing if you're a 9 fan, for certain. If you're on the team, it's even worse, because you know what a chance you had there to really get settled on this CT side, and now it looks like Spirit Academy, you know, after you had such a good second round to put them on a force buy, now they're just going to roll through town and gain up quite an advantage. Yes, the investment is still kind of there for 9, but you still need to stop these 5 rifles from barreling up long. And I mean, we're already seeing just the mechanical ability of this young spirit side. And if 9 are not on their A game, Freddy, oof. Better them than me.
That last round felt honestly near unavoidable. Like, okay, Farben gets entried on, and oh, okay, this is something a little bit more. Like, that last round, unavoidable. They didn't play together though, that was the issue. This time, they certainly are. All 3 players in and around the A bomb site, damage for damage, kill for kill, blow for blow. But ultimately, it's another masterful double from Sypho. That looked really clean. And Spirit Academy, they got tested. It came down to the wire. But individual prowess, once again, superseding 9.
You're kind of seeing the way that 9 like to set up on those rounds as well. Like, 9, when they have a read on the situation, they always have something prepared. They're very diligent in terms of kind of the traps that they set. Like, as Spirit Academy try and make their way up long there, they were ready with the flashes. 3 players were ready to peak at a moment's notice, and you know that's gonna be tough for a side like Spirit Academy, who, you know, I wouldn't say it's their tactical, you know, depth that gets them over the line a lot of the time. It is just a lot of their raw mechanics that really is the difference maker in a lot of situations, as you're seeing here once again. But I think if this gets dragged into a late game, if Nine are able to kind of like stay in it for as long as possible and stay close to Spirit Academy, they could bring them to the depths, and it'll be really interesting to see that kind of matchup between how Robbo is going to be able to cope with calling against such an experienced IGL on the other side in Rals.
I think Rolls could have been playing competitive Counter-Strike for as long as some of the players have been alive on Spirit Academy.
Wouldn't surprise me. It actually wouldn't.
I think there's a few, because they're all like 17, right? Yeah, I think they might have a year or two on Rails. Berry, however, he's definitely more than them. But yeah, I completely agree. Like, when you've got Spirit Academy, you don't want to be extending the games out, right? And, sorry, what? Okay, Robbo. Wow. He just swings through a Molotov. Okay. That's one way to get an opening kill. And this is what I mean. Sure, I did come into this series saying Alkarin and Mokashim, maybe the 2 players that I felt like last year were a big component for success, haven't been stepping up. But it shouldn't undermine the fact that these players have that ability. And every single player so far is showing it. Albeit Alkarin hasn't really had the opportunity to do so.
Pressure going to be on this B bomb site now. This is where it gets a little bit all over the place. Kragan. Well-timed Molotov in, but Saifo already picking one off. Kragan trying to stop them all on his lonesome, and he does a really good job to get 2 out of that situation, but it was just never going to happen. There's 4 players coming at you from all angles. Eventually you're going to fall. You're only 1 man. And 9 still only on 1 round, as Spirit Academy will claim their 5th, and Mantu and Favin are trying to get away to save. Saifo will not allow that rifle to be kept onto, and Mantu dropping in towards suicide is exactly what it says on the tin, it would seem, but finds at least 1 kill to maybe just keep himself going. But Spirit Academy, I mean, look how proactive they're being on the hunter. Wide swing, not going to be good enough. And it's just down to if Kayosuke is able to catch him in time.
Oh, Mantu's not looking. He's not ready. Oh, he hears him though. That's actually monumental. Firstly, great damage, right? 3 kills at the end. Really good to limit the enemy's economy. But the main objective, saving the AWP. However, the repercussions is not anything to shout about, right? It's still just that AWP surrounded by pistols and not even armor on rolls. So ultimately this should still be a sick for Spirit Academy, unless Mantu could do something heroic, and he tries, you know, he goes for a play, but it doesn't even remotely work. I don't think he even fired a shot.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I'm a big fan of that, you know, just running up mid like that with the AWP.
It's something.
No, it's... Look, I can understand that he has to be the hero, but I think you need to be aggressive, but in, like, a position that gun can be recovered. Because, no, that gun is never going to be recovered up towards mid. And I understand if you run up, you might have a read on the situation, you might be able to get a kill, but you've no pistols in support of you there. You've nobody to try and swing and get a refrag, so if you go down... Ops dropped, it's just lying in towards middle for the rest of the round, and you're gambling then that somebody's going to walk into a pistol stack here. Or in Spirit Academy, they're just not. They just walk up together, they clear that A-bomb site. These pistols aren't going to discover all that much, and it's now just if you can converge on one of these rifle players and try and at least take a rifle out of their hands, bring one forward into the next round. But Spirit Academy, they just have everybody ready.
Also, just make sure no one can pick up the AWP, right? Like, Rolls... Oh, they are actually leaving mid. Yeah, I want to pick up on the point you were mentioning about the aggression. I really, really don't like it when people on gun, hero AK rounds, hero AWP rounds, anyone on the CT side just goes solo mid. I feel like there's so much depth you can have with the CT side and succeeding in mid and doing these really like cool funky plays where you have multiple players and there's, you know, bait and switch, there's different setups. I see, not often, I'm not going to say it happens all the time, but there is definitely, it's too often, because it should never happen, where people are just like solo by themselves. And for instance, Mantu in that specific case, you know, he's got pistols with no armor. Use them as a human flashbang, right? Like, do something together. I just don't see the point really of a call like that, but it's each to their own, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's one of those things that if it works, it works. We're definitely ranting and raving about how Mantu is, you know, the best opera of his time if he goes up and kills all 4 of them, or all 5 of them, should I say. But
obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
but like,
yeah.
it just looks a bit silly sometimes when it doesn't work out. Now, Kragan tag down low is a big problem. He's been the main source of kind of a defense on this B bomb site. They've only hit it once. He only has 2 kills, but they were both in the same round trying to anchor that position. And Spirit Academy right now are just having their way with 9, who really need to just try and find any success at all in terms of, you know, what they want to do. They have to try and kind of figure out, do they want to play this one a little bit more aggressive? Do they want to continue to play kind of passive? And on these kind of gun rounds, we haven't really seen them do all that much. Now, Spirit Academy have this mid control. They're going back over towards long, and this is where it actually might play into 9's hand, because you've got the op posted up over towards short, you've got a player in Goose, you still have that long control, but it kind of comes down to when these players explode out long, he needs to be extremely ready, and you feel like 2 is necessary for Favin, because once he goes down, Mantu has to deploy a smoke just to keep himself alive.
Oh, it's not even Mantu that falls first as well. It's Rolls that gets eliminated from Goose. That is a crazy shot that Cypher hit, by the way. Whoa. Regardless, though, 9 is a very simple setup, but they take no proactivity, and like, there's really not much else to be said about it. Spirit Academy are getting short every single round completely scot-free, and then that allows for Spirit Academy to leave 2 or even 1 player short and send the majority elsewhere, because 9 are not even attempting to retake it either, and they're just sitting on their laurels, sitting on the bomb side and playing very simple CS, which is not necessarily something you'd anticipate from a team led by Rolls and a team coached by Berry, because it feels like they haven't really done anything that I've been wowed by yet.
I mean, it's almost like they're waiting for something to happen, and that's a really good shot from Alcarin there. Cypher, though, that was probably the shot of the round for certain.
Dude,
and that's what I was saying.
Nuts, by the way.
Yeah, he really is. And that's what I was saying as well, that like Favin needed to get more than just 1 there over towards long, because, you know, you've 3 players running at you. If you, like, a 2 versus 2 on the ramp where you just see Mantu panic dropping a smoke and hoping for the best, that's where the problem does arise. And I like this change up here a little bit. They've got the hero rifle over towards short, and that's a lot better from Kragan. Goes down, that rifle can be recovered, and Bob XD is going to take another peek, but it's unfortunately into his demise. Kaisuke just tapping heads. He's just making it look easy, and Rals unfortunately caught on the exit of that B bomb site, and he'll catch a bullet to the head as well. Spirit Academy are making light work of 9, and that's the round they're in search of next.
Sorry, like, that's just like he was fully moving on short as well. When he just shoots a bullet, and it's like a honing missile. Like, yeah, no. He was like falling as well when he got that shot on short. I mean, regardless though, this Dust 2 is way more dominant than I anticipated. I thought, especially seeing how the second round played out when 9 were able to you know, Mantu got like a 3k with the scout or whatever. I thought there'd be a little bit more competitiveness. But getting Berry on the mic one more time, and it's not like the half has run away from 9 just yet. 3 rounds in a row, second pistol round, boom, is all of a sudden basically a 1-round game. Double AWP is the difference maker that 9 are looking at in this round. And as mentioned, Mantu, he's going to be getting aggressive on short. I said Spirit Academy are getting this space for free. Mantu saying otherwise now. That is a despicable shot onto Alcarin to kick off proceedings in round 10.
Yeah, and it's all because as well Favin is showing himself over towards mid, so you could see that Alcarin actually spotted the mid player. He spotted the op, didn't realize there was a double op, so Mantu just had a perfect chance to strike, and it's a lovely way to get an opening kill. But now that you've got that opener, you need to make sure that you just do not fall back behind, and especially because Spirit Academy are just going for something completely out of the ordinary. They're just going to run onto this B bomb site, and now Kragan, he's out of bullets. He has to just go forward with a USP. He's just instantly taken down. Kaiosuke has double entered the site, traded out, and now B is under lock and key for Spirit Academy, but 9 getting close by, trying to go for this retake, trying to rush on in, and that's maybe their only hope. Ral's so low, but still collects that kill for now. Just about surviving. 4 HP. He's got the AWP to move forward. They're waiting for Mantu to get in a little bit closer, but 2 ops on the retake. This could be awkward.
That's a fantastic Molotov, but an even better fadeaway shot from Robbo. However, Mantu, he comes so late that they just never anticipate him. And this is what I'm starting to like. 9, they can make this half look respectable.
Yeah, they definitely can, man. They definitely can. They can get, you know, maybe 4. Do I think it's going to be enough? I just don't. Because that right there, that whole round is done off a gimmick of the double up. That's not going to work out now next time. Because if they have saved the double up, I didn't quite catch if they've done it. But Spirit Academy will be completely aware of it. So they'll 100% know how to deal with 2 ops in the server. That's if they're still going to be wielding it. And there you have it, Favin and Mantu both holding them. And I'll be really interested to see if there's going to be an aggressive peak from Mantu here. And you can see Alcarin's boosted up. They're expecting that op maybe to be over towards short. There's the little protocols there that Spirit Academy are just adjusting to, knowing that they really, what the enemies have and what they're up against.
Yeah, I was actually literally just about to say coming into this round that Mantu is probably the main reasons why that last round went so well. So what are they going to do around him to provide an opening kill once again? And I'm a little bit disappointed in the lack of, well, I guess numbers maybe doing something aggressive. It is a bit of a change that 9 are actively fighting for mid here, but once again, short has been conceded scot-free, and it's drawing people's attentions away, so Spirit Academy are able just to walk onto this B-bomb site. The flashbangs, not even that great, they're just good enough. And there's a Molo at the back of the bomb site that flushed out Kragan. And this is 9 just sitting, waiting for something to happen. Exactly what we've mentioned in the previous, not doing something proactive, and Spirit Academy penalizing them because of that.
I do feel for them a little bit, because Mantu tried to do something a little bit proactive. He tried to be a little bit more aggressive, but I kind of agree with you in the terms of they maybe should have went for him for a boost up over towards short. Now, Rans is sticking over towards mid. This could get awkward as he's trying to make his way back through the doors, as he might be spotted. Yeah, he's going to be taken down, so money is a big issue if Favin and Mantu don't save the double ops in this round. And Favin, he's not going to risk a reface whatsoever, and that's just a wonderful awareness from Mantu there, that he's being baited into a fight towards short, that there's somebody coming up CT trying to take him down. He heard the steps then eventually, but both players fall on 9. You've got nothing saved in this round, and Spirit Academy, what I will say about that flashbang over towards B to get them in, it was just perfectly timed. It was absolutely perfectly timed. Popped in the defender's face, and I really feel sorry for Bob XD and Kragan over towards the B-bomb site, because it's not been fun.
They were just left alone, isolated basically. And this is something a little bit different. Why weren't we doing this when we had Mantu on the AWP on short? and put Kraken in lower tunnels and maybe have a double setup with rolls on short as well. This is cool from 9. This is something different. And for the first time this half, Spirit Academy haven't gone lower tunnels. They are committing straight to long. And Fathom, there's just 3 players walked onto a screen. Mantu baited in for Mass. How much can he do? Only good for a singular kill. Fathom came up scot dry, by the way, so he's got nothing. And Spirit Academy are just mowing 9 down. They're churning them up. They're spitting them out. Roz skulking around the flames on Goose. He's trapped. He has to battle his way out, and battle he does. Okay. There's only so much he can do because Alcaran just spams him through the smoke. Now, it's all down to Bob XD to see if 9 can claim 3 on the half, and Bob XD, it's 1 versus 2. He's only got 2 kills in this game. He needs to double his frags, and he's got a freebie right in front of him, but he doesn't go around the corner. Robbo was out in the open, and because of that, Robbo is able to adjust in time. That's so unfortunate with Bob XD. If he had just walked around the corner, he would have had a way better idea, but didn't clear it effectively enough, and because of that, it's double digits for the Academy side.
I'm not so sure if you would have been able to spot him out in terms of there was like that smoke was there, and maybe the way that it kind of bloomed on his screen, he thought, all right, well, I think he might be in that smoke. He might be up on the bomb site. It's better to just take the kill. Or it could be a situation of, I haven't had a fair gunfight.
He just doesn't go around the corner.
Yeah, it might have been that too. It was just such an awkward round there, man. That's really unfortunate for 9, because right now they're getting absolutely battered by Spirit Academy, and we knew this game would be tough, and it might get a little bit tougher. There's just so many bodies in mid right now trying to deal with the swings on out. Kaisuke and Alcaran are just tapping everybody's life away, but Bob XD and Mantu now have a chance. They're split though, that's the only problem, and Alcaran continuing to kind of force that issue. They have information on both of these pistols, and you can see Robu, he is absolutely not interested in this fight because he knows the bomb's over towards A.
It's all about this duel at range. The Glock, not the best for it. Because of that, Alcaran finds the headshot. Mantu now left by himself, and that's a clean first altercation. Oh, he's been read into. Alcaran's here. Alcaran's waiting. And I think that is firmly the nail in the coffin, if the nail wasn't already there.
Freddie, I think the coffin was already 6 feet under, to be honest.
Yeah.
Never mind the nails in the coffin. I think it was, you know, dead and buried. When we finished that kind of first half. 9, the 2 rounds that they picked up, the second round, and then I can't even remember the other one. It was the one that Mantu got the opener over towards short, but it has been a pretty lackluster performance all round on those 2 from 9, and they've really struggled to deal with the kind of aggressive elements that Spirit Academy do have. And I think when we saw that second round, when they were instantly able to kind of put Spirit Academy under the caution, they were able to actually, you know, put them in a situation where they had to force up. We were thinking, all right, this is going to be maybe a competitive first half, and then all of a sudden Cypho just has an insane round, gets them back on track, and they haven't really stumbled otherwise. But I think 9 are going to look back at this game, and I think what we're talking about is pretty dead on in the terms of 9 have just not really been proactive enough. They've not thought about how they wanted to kind of get the openings, and they've really kind of struggled with Spirit Academy just heading up short a lot of the rounds. Like, there was no adjustment to really deal with that whatsoever. It was kind of just, all right, if Mantu is able to nade open the smoke and maybe it's able to find a kill, but even at that, a lot of the times they weren't actively looking to see if they could stop that short play. Unfortunately for 9, a 9 AM game is not going too well for them, and when we're heading over onto a train, Freddie, like, I'm still standing by the statement that even though Spirit Academy haven't looked perfect on train, it is still one of those maps, especially if you're coming off, let's say, a 13-2 in your opening map. You can just walk through. You can just walk through a map 2, and if 9 don't get themselves in check, yeah, this could be a very, very quick series.
I mean, Spirit Academy also have some pretty decent results in recent history. Out of their last 6 games, they've won 5, with only a loss to Monty. And you can extend one further, and it is a loss, but it's an overtime loss against Ents, right? You got teams, and then you've also beaten Ents in this record. Favbet, who are playing quite good Counter-Strike right now. Passion UA, on LAN as well against ArtGrid twice. Spirit Academy, they've actually been playing pretty decent train in the last like couple weeks as well, which could be worrying. But I'm definitely worried for 9 on Dust 2 as play commences and we resume back after that little tech pause. It is an opening kill. Faven does get the first on Kaisuke.
It's a good start to proceedings, but it's the next couple of moments and the next couple of kills that I'm maybe a little bit concerned about. 9 have decided to go for a freeze, and I don't hate this. They've just been waiting, everybody standing in spot and hoping that maybe there's going to be a regression, an overface, an overcommit. Spirit Academy are playing quite passive though. Robbo has heard one set of steps over towards short. That seems to be a fake right now, as the main plan of attack looks like it will be a little mid to B split, and this is horrible news for Sypho, who is solo, and Robbo, he's got no other option but to walk through this smoke right now. He has to try and beat it, but man 2 is going to beat him to the punch. Sypho, all eyes on him, try and lock down this B bomb site solo, and he's already peeked into Fordham, knows he's in big trouble, can't even get one. Yeah, lots of damage, but no kill, and that's the real difference in that one. 9, that was for survival.
Honestly, what I'm really impressed with is when they threw that mid to B smoke, and it wasn't just Mantu holding, or like, sorry, no, yeah, it wasn't just Mantu getting lucky with the fact that he catches Robbo. He was actively anticipating someone to walk through that CT smoke, and he just catches them off really well. So, sure, this is only the 3rd round for 9, but it's a really nice round. Like, it's the force buy, it was an opening kill with an AK, it was a good read onto Robbo, and then a good entrapment of the B-bomb site. So, you gotta find silver linings where you can, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Red. Really well done from Mantu there, to be honest. And 9 as well. Like, the call, I think, was to wait and catch someone.
That's probably where you are going to get an advantage against the Spirit Academy team, because, you know, they do like to be aggressive. Like, that is what these guys are known for,
the opening
right?
kill. Yeah, the opening kill was Kaisuke nading a smoke and peeking behind it with like a, I think a FAMAS. This, for instance, Alcarin. Yeah, I mean, he tries his best. Bob XD. Alcarin is literally just fighting 2 by himself. There is a great flashbang somewhere in there from Kaisuke. I think it lands under Xbox, and it completely blinds both players under tunnels. Under tunnels?
Under tunnels, lower tunnels, same thing. Yeah. Alcarin has just been absolutely destroyed by that shot, Rals. What a shot that is. So you get up onto this A bomb site, you'll be able to get a plant in as well. And I might call a save here if I'm Spirit Academy. It looks like they are. Nobody's moving towards the bomb, so that's usually a giveaway. Kaisuke, of course, is. Why wouldn't he? And Faven didn't see him. Now he realised. Okay, yeah, just reface. Yeah, just repeek. Take him down. No problem. Get a little bit closer. They're looking to do maximum damage here. They know that there's a couple of players exiting towards shore, and Spirit Academy, they've got their sights locked in on Rals. They want a couple of AKs to bring forward. They've got one waiting to make sure bomb doesn't do any more significant damage to them. And unfortunately, it is only the one AK that they can bring forward, but it is just a horrible bit of damage to be done to the 9 side at a vital time, because Kaisuke and Makajin both on rifles in this round. It's a scary prospect. it is a very scary prospect.
ASTRUM got a bit of a taste of his own medicine there, didn't he? When you see someone entering onto a bomb site with a crisp, clean one tap, it wouldn't be rolls that I'd be looking at. I'd be more looking at, I don't know, maybe even on his team, a Kragan, who's been playing great this tournament, has been great, really great actually since joining 9, or maybe a Farven or a Mantu, not a rules, or not even someone on 9 at all. Spirit Academy, ASTRUM, taste of his own medicine, good to see. But yeah, this round is ultimately a 9 need to keep it clean. Spirit Academy, what can a Galil and AK do? How far can they take this? Because right now, they're in the right place, as all 5 players now join up on this A-bomb site.
Gotta take the point and just try and see if they can deal with these rifles. And they dealt with one. Oh, but Cypher's got his hands on it. Can he tap away a couple of heads? This could get scary because they know that he's reacquired it. They know Kaiosuke is here as well. So they should be waiting for this Ral's pinch to get a little bit closer. That will maybe seal the deal. Kaiosuke is still able to find 2 and maybe get away. Was he spotted out? Oh, Ral's gives himself away. Oh, this is a problem right now. Kaiosuke needs to back up away, get a reload off in a little bit of safety, but Kragan will simply not allow it. That is such an important kill at that moment, because if Kaiosuke gets back, pulls that reload off, that 1 versus 2 is entirely doable. And Spirit Academy now struggling to get onto that 12th round is 9, mounting a little bit of a comeback. They're going to use their last tactical timeout. They might as well at this stage, because they know this is going to be their toughest task yet. There's a full buy on the other side, and Spirit Academy with just 2 rifles reduced you to only 2 players.
It's also quite amusing that someone would peek Kragan like that. Like someone, Kaiosuke, like Kragan ego peeking Kaiosuke. Feel like I wouldn't do that in a 2 versus 2, but it works out. Yeah, like this is, it's a bold peek, but it works. Bomb was down as well, which is also a biggie. But look, it's a little bit of a comeback from 9. Sure, it's, what, 3 rounds on the trot? But these rounds have come so difficult, and not against rifles, against either USPs, 9 winning like a force buy. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'd call this a comeback yet, or just a delaying the inevitable. However, if Mantu does want to shut me up, that is a very good start, because Cypher has been tagged down to 25 HP on the cross.
Algorand going to be tested here. Ooh, a little bit late to pull the trigger, but he gets it, that kill. And he actually gets away to safety as well, which is a little bit of a problem for 9. You've got that map control, but you've after losing a player on entry, and you cannot really scale is the real issue. With that up, posted up over towards long, you just cannot begin to make your way up. So 9 are going to pivot back over towards B, and I don't hate this idea right now, but the problem is, the longer that Spirit Academy do not see any more pressure over towards long, maybe we might see another player rotated, not over towards B, but at least over towards mid to keep an eye on things.
Yeah, I'd expect Mokujin to be moving a little bit more proactively in towards CT right about now. There is a Molo, or no, there was a Molo on Cypher. It's been passed to Kyosuke, and oh, they just get mowed as they come through tunnels. Wow, that felt way too easy from the B defenders. Rolls is going to survive on 2 singular hit points to get the bomb down. Robbo tried to deny the bomb being planted, and that's going to be his downfall. Mantu provided as much Overwatch as he can possibly provide, and now it's down to this USP versus Rolls duel, and the IGL is shining in glory and flexing his muscles and showing that experience is over this youth.
Just about as well, man. 1 HP. It finds both headshots at necessity there in terms of the round, but still, 9, these are getting too close for comfort. You go into the B bomb site, and luckily Ralls is the one that is able to find all these kills to actually give yourself a chance 4 in the round. And you need a spectacular showing just to make sure that that round gets over the line. It keeps you alive. It gives you a little bit of confidence as well heading over to map 2 once we get there. But after a round like that, honestly, I don't think this map's done. I really don't. I think 9 can bring it back. And this is what I was really intrigued with at the beginning of the day, when I was saying that if 9 are able to stay in this game for as long as possible and drag them to the depths, it'll be really interesting to see that kind of calling matchup between the likes of Robbo and Ralls. And Ralls has stepped up massively with that very important round. Reduce Spirit Academy just to pistols. 9 just need to make sure that they don't misstep or misplay anything in this situation.
Yeah, that was honestly a bonkers round from Rolls. It's the type of individual brilliance that you need to spur on a comeback like this. But never count Spirit Academy out on the pistols, especially when Robbo is currently flanking them. Execute's about to come onto the A-bomb site. Raz caught off guard in CT, but he's not been eliminated. A rare miss from Kioske. Alcrim, no scoped actually by the Yorp. Only had a USP, so you don't really expect too much from him. And none of the shots really are connecting for Spirit Academy. It was a force buy where they were definitely in the right position. They had the flank, they had the USP in the smoke, but ultimately nothing really went their way decisively, as only 1 kill was actually claimed on the players coming up short. So for Sypho, it's just about doing some extra damage, and he's positioned himself quite nicely towards long, because they might try safe here, as he was last spotted towards CT and short. So if he can get some extra damage, maybe a kill, be really valuable, as the economy for 9 is still in a very peculiar position, that even though they've won 5 in a row now, that was the first time they've done it with like more than 2 players.
Yeah, see, the thing is, though, now you're kind of set for, you know, the rest of the game, I would say. Like,
I mean, if they lose this round, they're not.
If they lose this round, they're still going to be able to get, like, a somewhat decent buy, especially if they get a bomb plant as well.
If they don't get a bomb plant, there'll be people on, like, Galils or Mac 10s for sure.
Oh, yeah, for certain. But a bomb plant kind of negates that a little bit. But still, we've got like an 11-7 is a big comeback from 9 right here, and Spirit Academy. The problem I have right now is that it only takes 1 to derail this comeback. It really just takes 1 round from a guy like Kaiosuke, and all of a sudden everything just turns a little bit sour for 9. And Kaiosuke wants to go back for a little bit more. He's already claimed 2. They've lost a little bit of a grip on that B bomb site, but BobXE has taken no space making his way out here. Kaiosuke still up close. He's got 3, looking for the 4th, and Robbo needs to actually help him out. AWP is all that remains, and Mantu is just going to be forced away. And I was saying it only takes 1. That was it.
The Wonderkin steps up as well, and on 7 HP, just pushes through a smoke. Nothing can stop him. And you can see the methodology for 9 in that round. BobXD taking contact over towards B, as Alcaran's yawning, and you had Rolls leading the spearhead in middle. And that's something you see a lot from this 9 project. Rao's taking a lot of that early space for his team. But it just felt very random, though, this round. And it was just walking through a smoke into Kaiosuke's hands. And he definitely welcomes them in. So now, 9, if they do want to stay alive and keep their head above the water on Dust 2, this would mean winning 5 in a row on the trot. And Kragan, at range, somehow was able to at least get 1 there.
That was the craziest tap kill I've ever seen. That was one that I was not expecting Kraken to actually win, and he does go down in the end of it. Bob XD trying to maybe force a way onto this B bomb site. Kaisuke is so quick though with his reaction. The flick onto the head now just sends all of Nine's hopes and chances on these two players. Make that one. Favin, the only one that remains, and still a double short setup, is a big problem. If he swings out, if he takes this fight, Mokujin should be there to trade as the op taken down, but Mokujin will prevail, and this one is done. Nine bring it late in this game on map 1, but unfortunately just too big of a lead to topple, and Spirit Academy have an advantage heading into map 2.
Yeah, I mean, look, because that ends 13-7, all of those rounds 9 got is just a bit like, oh, it doesn't actually matter. Like, they only won 1 gun round, I think, at most.
I would disagree. I think it's actually is a lot for them in terms of they can actually beat them in a couple of rounds, because it was going a way that they could get actually 13-2. So I think as a confidence going into train, it is a lot better.
It definitely says that, okay, we can remember how to win, but I think they will also know that the rounds they won weren't super important, and it could have been just delaying the inevitable, which ultimately it was. That was a incredible game from Spirit Academy, and a very poor CT side from 9 basically spelt disaster after the first half. And the big name I want to shout out is Sypho. 16-12 doesn't look anything like crazy, right? And it's because he massively slowed down at the end. But the main reason why Spirit Academy were able to win a lot of the, I'd say the early 8 rounds, maybe 9, 10, it was kind of those first few. Dude, he was just destroying everyone. He was the star of the show, and he definitely stepped up early on to give and set the narrative before anyone else did. And then he made way for Kaisuke, obviously.
Yeah, man, like, he definitely kind of got them into that first half, you know, that insane triple entry onto that A bomb site to really spell a little bit of disaster that led up to Nine's kind of downfall in that first half. But you know, they've managed to bring it back. I think that confidence is going to bode well for them on Train. But again, what I was saying, that Train is one of those maps that Spirit Academy get the choice of sides. They could run away with it with another hot start like we've seen on Dust 2. We're going to be sending this one into a little bit of a break before we do continue with this series. So make sure not to go anywhere, as myself and Freddy will be back in 10 minutes time with more Compass action.
She said she loves you.
But she can't love me.
But I love you.
I won't play window anymore.
What's going on?
Play your role. 1xbet. On to the next one.
YaLLa Compass 2025 season.
If anyone peeks through, they're both dead. They're both dead in the smoke. Bomb dropped, popped up behind it at the edge of. Away with a kill, but quick trade back from Ariel still through the
YaLLa Compass 2024 champions!
YaLLa, let's go!
Nine made the scoreline look a little bit respectable towards the end on Dust 2, but ultimately that was a one-sided affair from Spirit Academy on their map pick. And in this qualification game to playoffs, Spirit Academy are now only one map away as we head on to train Nine's map pick.
Yeah, look, obviously, I think that bounce back was very important for Nine because it was really looking like Spirit Academy were gonna, you know, like 13-2, 13-3 them. But look, they managed to get it in a situation where, okay, at one stage we thought they were actually going to come back and Nine were maybe going to put up a little bit of a fight because they were stopping Spirit Academy for a very long time from getting onto 12, and we were thinking, all right, they might actually have a chance in this one. But heading over onto a nuke, even though Nine are 6 out of 6 in the last games that they played on this map, Spirit Academy are also, you know, 5-1. So both teams have really strong records, and the fact that Spirit Academy get to actually start out and, you know, on their favorite side, they get the choice. If Nine don't have a hot start, if they get off, you know, to another really kind of slow first couple of rounds like we seen on Dust 2, Spirit Academy, in all honesty, could just snowball this into a situation where Nine can simply just not recover it.
Especially considering from map 1, it really showed us that the individuals of Spirit Academy were alive, they were there. Kaisuke, obviously 24-11. He seems to just always be at the top of the scoreboard no matter what, but it's also really good to note that it's like ASTRUM was hitting his AWP shots. Sypho, the first 8 rounds or so was all him. He was the one that kind of picked up the pieces early on for Spirit Academy and was hitting some crazy entries on that T side of Dust 2, and Mokujin was also very consistent. So if we're like, it really felt like that Nine struggled to combat against that level of individualism and was only able to do so when Rolls got a very nice kind of highlight round, or Mantu was either getting an opening kill or just winning the round outright with either a scout or an AWP. So I think this is going to ultimately end up being a very difficult matchup for Nine, and I completely agree with you. I think a early start here is imperative.
I think one thing as well that we haven't really mentioned is the fact that because Nine really kind of couldn't get going in that one, like we seen the likes of Kragan and Bob XD, who were kind of like more so on the CT side over towards that B bomb site. You know, they finished up that game, you know, pretty low down. I think Kragan had like 4 kills, Bob XD might have had 6 or 7, and on the T side, Bob XD is their most aggressive player by far. He takes 31% of every opening duos on their T side across all maps. For Kragan, he is that kind of aggressive element on the CT side. He is usually the guy that's most involved in those opening fights. When you've got those two guys that are not able to find the entries, you force Mantu into a situation where he's going to have to actually go and do the business for his team. Now luckily he was able to do it on Dust 2. T-side train, I'm not so sure that you can like rely on that offer consistently to get that opening pick, because there's only so much you can do, and also like it's very little, right? It is very little. You know, we're talking about a peak out of main, maybe, you know, cross for the pop cross. We're talking maybe an Ivy peak, and we're talking maybe you're holding B upper. That is about the height of it. You need those aggressive elements for the rifles to actually do something. Getting going though in the pistol and Spirit Academy on this CT side already, it started off nice.
Bob XD bobbing and weaving though. He's actually got himself onto the bomb site alongside Farvin. He somehow circumventing the two players in Ivy, and well, they just line up for Mantu. The Tech 9, pristine on the headshots in the pistol round, and Kaisuke, what's this kid all about them? This is gonna be a pretty hard 1 versus 2, but it's definitely one to cement himself as really this fantastic great player that everyone's heralding him to be. And when he gets the opportunity, he'll hit the instant one tap. But Mantu wasted so much time, and it looks like Favin will be doing the exact same, despite there being a kit that could have been picked up by Kaisuke. It's 9 on the board after a round that looked like it was all going in favor of the CT side until Mantu hit some absolute zingers at range with the P250.
And that's all it came down to, Freddy, was Mantu hitting those zingers. Like, that is unbelievable with the P250 that he's able to hit those shots. And we've seen some pistol prowess, not just from him on both sides. I mean, Alcaran's peak over towards Ivy was incredibly clean. Kaisuke's shots were incredibly clean also. You know, there was some real big moments there for a lot of the players. But the biggest moment of all goes in favor of 9, because they take a pistol round. Need to make sure, though, you don't fall to the fate of a couple of pistols after a Deagle peaks. Doesn't do any damage. Kaisuke takes a hit on that one. There is a kit in play though, so if this one goes late, if 9 actually do manage to get a bomb down and things go awry and go astray, Spirit Academy might be able to kind of take their time. But still, it is a round that there's only 2 Deagles in. That is all that is purchased on up. This one should be a clean sweep for 9. But Alcaran getting close with this Deagle, never mind.
I think when you're watching Spirit Academy, you always gotta believe. There's always like a part of you that is like, okay, there's ever a team that's gonna get just a full ego win. It's Spirit Academy. They get 2 kills. One of them wasn't quite a kill, it was a team kill. But regardless, 9, it's the good start we were mentioning. The gun round collected would be massive to continue their upward trajectory. The odds heavily against them. Sweet Jesus. But it's on the rifles now for Spirit Academy. First time. 5 A1Ss. This is also a big thing I know as a Spirit Academy that we didn't really get to talk about much on Dust 2 because they were doing a lot of winning. Dude, they really love to prioritize weaponry over utility, and that can really cost them sometimes. And well, that's also going to cost them when Bob XD just catches Robbo completely off guard, and the entries just steamroll this A bomb site.
Yeah, simply no way to hold on to that one, and just completely caught off really by just a fast round from 9. And that's what I wanted to see from Bob XD. You know, he is that guy that wants to be the spearhead into a bomb site a lot of the time, and you can see it here. Just before that smoke blooms, takes a peek, Robbo in no man's land, and they just continue to just absolutely roll through town in that round. And 9 already such a hot start for them, and now my worries are a little bit at ease, right? Because I was a little bit concerned that 9 weren't going to be able to, you know, put it up to Spirit Academy, and Spirit Academy were just going to absolutely walk over them for the first couple of rounds. But it's been all 9, and it could continue to be that way for maybe a couple of more. Mac 10 just such a difficult weapon to take down at close range, even with a 5.7. And Spirit Academy, they need to get ready for this B play. They should have a realization that it could be happening in a moment, but 9... if they really wanted, they could still pivot at a moment's notice.
Yeah, Kragan's also holding for Robbo very deep, and yeah, he's going to get spotted. Robbo's not going to be eliminated just yet, but that is the information, and especially with Mokajin ringing off a Deagle kill towards B, this should now be the pivot through Pop onto Connector, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Mokajin does find a second with his Deagle. Ooh, Favin on 19 HP scared me with that swing. This round definitely was tentative for a moment, and it still is. Oh, it still very much is, because Kragen's in a 1 versus 2. The bomb was never planted. Robbo just walked through the smoke and denied it all. Alcran upgraded to the AK. No armor, however. Aim punch could be the bane, and he's been spotted. Robbo's going walking though. Robbo's completely left his teammates. So Alcran's very isolated right now. Kragen will not know that. That's the issue. But he's made the perfect call. Oh no, he's gone back. I thought he was going to run towards B. Oh, that felt very brazen to plant the bomb there. And regardless, it's Spirit Academy though, with deagles and not even armor on some players picking up their first rounds.
That's a ridiculous shot. We didn't get to see that. Mockington, that is crazy. Then he hit that shot and oh man, yeah. This is just so horrible. Such an awkward situation for 9 to be in. And yeah, you were saying that Spirit Academy probably are one of those teams that could pull off a round like that. Well, they have. And that's the way that they get there first. And that's a desperate way to lose it. Bob XD, lucky to not go down, and actually does a whole lot of damage, because he would have went down for free. Not the kill though he was after, and still it's not going great because they converge on the brown holes and absolutely rip them apart. Spirit Academy, they might have started slow for the first couple of rounds, but that is now 2 in a row, and that is a pristine one.
That is such a clean round from Alcran, Robbo, and Kaisuke specifically. So you got Robbo taking first contact towards Pop, and then Alcran peeks from heaven, and then Alcran throws a flashbang in Pop for his teammates. Yeah, so Rolls looking at Pop. Flashbang comes in. Robbo, okay, maybe goes a little bit too far for a second, but then Kaisuke gets a kill completely blind. What I'm intrigued about was, how was Bob XD blind top, like back of Pop by Sypho? Where did that flashbang come from?
I've absolutely no idea, to be honest. I didn't even see where the trajectory was.
I just saw him dabbing, and then I saw there was a kill assist for a flash, and I was like, where has that come from?
Now, it could have been from, like, connector area. I know there is a flash that you control from Con in, through the windows.
That would make sense, actually.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it was, because I'll be honest with you, I was looking down. I was actually grabbing a drink there while you were saying it on the replay. So. Oh,
you didn't have to say that. You could be like, oh, I was watching back the demo. You can play it off. You can style it off.
Yeah. Nah, I'm an honest guy, Freddy. You know, thirsty work.
Better man than myself.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that, but we'll agree to disagree on that one. But I think we can both agree on something that Spirit Academy are definitely back into this one. And even though it's a good start for 9, I'm really intrigued to see what the next gun round is going to really look like. Because this one, I mean, although Bob XD is going to absolutely blindside and destroy Mockington, like there's just surely no way that this round should transpire into anything more than, 2 kills and possibly a bomb plant.
Wait, the bomb actually really can be planted. Mantu's just got to get on it. Ooh, I think he has it. Yeah, that's really good, Bob XD is over an A main. But no, the bomb down in itself is really good there for 9, because 2,400 loss, right? So whack on an extra $600. That means you get an AWP drop to Mantu if you do please, and everyone's gonna get full utility and a little bit saved over. So this is best case scenario for 9 coming into this round. However, it feels like momentum has very quickly shifted. Even though we're going into the 7th round, it feels like there's already been a tone set.
Yeah, it does have that kind of feel to it, but this really is where 9 can kind of change the tune of it. and kind of manipulate it into their own way. But it depends what they want to go for, and once again it seems like it's just a pretty standard default set in their ways, as the reaction's going to be here over towards A main from the CTs. Kragan was playing a risky game, actually even attempting to go for the spam there, because he easily could have got taken down. As for Sypho, throwing that smoke over towards the left side so it doesn't be a little bit awkward to deal with. It doesn't bloom out of the stairway, so it's a lot easier to hold. It's a really nice little detail instead of just chucking one and hoping for the best.
That's my type of tactic.
Oh, trust me, I've been doing exactly the same.
That's actually quite good to know, though. If you throw on the left, it actually goes in. But this is 9 prepping for an AXQ right now. They've been given pop completely for free, and that's why Alcaran's really trained on it. He's very aware that there's definitely going to be someone coming out from there, and with this utility now being launched onto the A-bomb side, Alcaran, he just needs to hit his shot. But also on top of that, he's very isolated. Alcaran is really alone. Doesn't matter though. And also a T-Molo propelled towards pop, so he not only hits the shot, but forces rolls back. 25 seconds, and they're barely even getting out of the choke points. Alcaran, he's doubled down. He's going for more. He maybe overextends, though. Fathom, it was almost his moment, but ultimately, it's going to be Mantu just prancing away on 1 HP. And I just noticed, Spirit Academy had all 5 players on the A-bomb site there.
Yeah, everybody there, they knew what was going on. Mokajin falling. A little bit of an issue. Mantu needs to make sure he doesn't go down after time. He's 1 HP, and once again, Mantu the king of saving, because he has, I think, 5 kills when they're trying to hunt him down. If I remember, he had a triple kill in a one. Yeah, he probably does have more, but he had a triple kill definitely early on Dust 2. And Mokajin catching a glimpse. I mean, you know, you're saying that Alcaran is overextending. I'm gonna allow him to overheat a little bit in that situation, right? You know, he's killed 2. They've completely shut down the round, and Favin, although he has a nice double kill, it's just too much on his play. Unfortunately, it's too much for any man to get over the line himself. Saving grace is you do have Mantu with that AWP. He's just going to be posted up on right side Ivy, as you could see that Favin was trying to get a little bit closer. He was trying to make his way up, but because of that molly, it deters him completely, and now this is where it could get awkward. Kragan could get caught off by the double push through pop, and especially if there's a player towards upper as well. Sypho is just going to be able to clear Bob XD out. That is just great awareness right there from the CTs, knowing that that was a possibility. In Spirit Academy, they can absolutely do no wrong once again. Mantu, the only sign of life in this round for 9, and once again, it's himself and Favin versus the world.
Yeah, it feels like Mantu's been getting a lot of these kills in this map, especially in just times where it's like, it doesn't matter. This round, I don't think it's anything against him inherently. But yeah, Spirit Academy, they have been doing extraordinarily well at controlling upper B. And then what's really interesting is, in that last round, Jack, they didn't even attempt to take pop or upper B or anything of the sorts. And 9 still were unable to really get any work done, and that was because Spirit Academy then took A main and then had these really nice setups on the A bomb side with the utility keep on pushing them back. So it's just Spirit Academy getting control everywhere, different parts, different rounds, and 9 can't contest up against it whatsoever in these last 5. 3 stay alive, and an AWP is retrieved for Spirit Academy, so ultimately all is fine and dandy.
Yeah, all is fine and dandy for Spirit Academy, not in the 9 camp, and I won't be too surprised if we're going to see attack
Maybe not
being
this
brought
round.
forward in
Next round.
next round. This round should be just a little bit of a set piece play. I would like to see them maybe change up the pace and go towards B, maybe with Tech 9s.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll get my wish.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's a Freddy flashbang. And that Molo, that's taken a long time to land. I do not know what happened there. Molo, Sypho, he did take like an extra second that would have cost him ordinarily, but then it just didn't land. So Sypho not only doesn't get any single damage off, but has just lost and capitulated this B bomb site. Maybe a tactical pause isn't needed in the next round, because 9 currently are in pole position to win it out with the Tech 9s, but unfortunately the A1S has been collected, has been thwarted. Tech 9 still, though, doing their best work. Bomb basically all the way ticked now. There's only a quarter left, and Spirit Academy got to get a move on. They are fighting the trades, but it's happening way too slowly, and just the pace of this round has caught the youngsters off guard. And Mantu, he's saving, but this time it's because they've won the rounds.
And that's what I wanted to see, just a little bit of a switch up of pace there for 9, and it works out. And to be honest, I feel for Sypho here. It lands on the steps, and you can hear the clink, clink, clink. That clink, clink, clink means that you are so dead. Like, there's just nothing that you can do about that. If that molly lands, perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's a T-molly. They're half HP running through it. Yeah, it does get insta-smoked as well. So, it was just something to catch you off guard. But again, I'm going to say that's a gimmick round. That's... 9 need a little bit more repeated success, and I'm still shocked that they haven't actually called a tactical timeout after that round, because these gun rounds, let's not forget, let's not kid ourselves, Freddy. These gun rounds have been a no contest from start to finish. We're talking pistol rounds, conversion rounds, and then a Tech 9 buy. But that's a little bit better. There's an opening. Faven dropping, Alcarin aggressive in towards Ivy. He gets nothing out of that situation, and 9, for the first time, I want to say, on a gun round, have an advantage.
Ooh, and that advantage now doubled, as... Gonna feel bad for Robbo there, because that was a really good set piece. The flashbang really nailed not only just Mantu, I think it was all the riflers were also blind. But he just hits the reactionary blind shot. And now Spirit Academy is just down to the individuals. Does Kaisuke get a crazy multi-kill? Definitely more than I expected. Is 1 though. Mockage's time for a multi-kill? No. Sypho, 1v4? Nah, this is scary. He just got 2 and dropped the bomb. Issue is, might not anticipate Faven coming from Ivy, and he doesn't. Was waiting for Mantu to come from a main, and because of that, 9 are able to string 2 in a row and keep this game contested.
Yeah, nice opener there, well-timed flash, and they try and do it right back to them. Mantu wins that exchange. Still a little bit fortunate to find that kill, because if that flash goes and lands perfect like it did, Mantu misses that shot, it's a different story. So, although it's a nice idea for Spirit Academy, it doesn't really work out. And now, 9, we are going to see a little bit of a technical pause, not a tactical one like we were expecting, as their best player so far this series has left us, and hopefully he will be rejoining. Something about Mantu, he's kind of been the only saving grace for this team. Faven has actually kind of kept up with him on this map, but on map 1, I mean, Mantu was 19 and 14. He had 115 ADR. 115 ADR. That was nearly double of everybody else on the side of 9. That's how much Mantu was ahead of his other 4 teammates, and has been pretty vital, I would say, in a lot of the rounds that 9 have won. You think back to the pistol here on train, the double kill with the P250. You're thinking about that round there where he throws the flash to set up Faven for the opener. He finds that kill completely blind to have the shot, or to get them out towards that A bomb site. There's been a lot of moments that Mantu has come up big for 9. And Spirit Academy, I think really the key for them is keeping Mantu off an AWP in that second half. If they can do that, it will just be so much easier. Now, it might be too difficult to do in this one because we've kind of gone on a little bit too far, and 9 should be able to field an AWP regardless in the last round, whatever kind of happens in this one. But in that second half, the longer that you can keep Mantu away from his sniper, the better chance Spirit Academy will have of closing this one out in 2.
There was definitely, for me, Mantu had always felt a little bit inconsistent, and I was a chronic Mantu hater, notoriously. But I've been coming around to him a lot more in the last 6 months, and I think it's definitely by the virtue of this 9 roster being the best roster it has been, with the best pieces it has at its disposal. But Mantu's also been playing significantly better. And then especially in this tournament, he's got a 1.17 rating or something like that across the 3 other best of 3s that they've played so far. He's playing some really serious Counter-Strike, and it's just looked a lot more consistent, which was always something that I found was my issue, was that inconsistency. So if he's still picking up his way, got to look at the riflers, Kragan, Faven, and then Bob XD as that aggressive T rifler who has been doing pretty well so far. But Kragan's drop-off so far in this series is definitely notable, because he came into this best of 3 alongside Mantu as a... he came in at a similar level in this tournament. They've both been playing really, really well, and it's felt that Kragan has been very absent this best of 3, and is definitely going to have to be a difference maker for 9 if also going second half. It's not just Mantu and the AWP, it's also, I think, 100% Kragan picking his weight a little bit more.
Yeah, I think with Mantu as well, when you're talking about, how well that he's been performing, he's sitting on a 1.19 in this event. But, if you look at some of the events that they've played, this year, he's been performing. He had a 1.28 in the tournament before, as I was saying, the finishing, top 8 pretty much every single time, qualifying for that LAN, the Tipsport LAN in Prague, that I believe he finished that event over 12 maps with a 1.16. These are the Mantu numbers that we were expecting to kind of see when he kind of joined up in this team. But maybe last year or the year before, we maybe kind of or last year or the year before from Mantu himself, we probably weren't seeing, which was maybe a little bit surprising. But I think it kind of comes down to just the roles make sense in this team now. The roles make sense. I think everybody is kind of playing for each other. I think Bob XD was probably one of the best additions that this 9 roster could have went for, and I think he's just kind of elevated everybody else around him on the team when they've acquired himself and Kragan. Although it hasn't been a great series from the 2 of them, I still rate them very, very highly. And this 9 team, I think...
yeah, of course.
I think this 9 team could definitely do the business, for the rest of this year. I think they will be that kind of steady Eddie of, this kind of tier 2 space, where they will be constantly, making it to playoffs of events, and throwing their name in the hat once or twice to kind of win them as well. But if you want to kind of be that team that are constantly getting there, you need to be beating teams like Spirit Academy. You need to be at least taking these guys into troubled water, into the deep end, where your experience can be your wealth, where your experience can just be that vital piece that actually gets you there and gets a series over and done with in your favor.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that I mentioned at the very start of the broadcast of it feels like for 9, we're just waiting for that one big result. They've been doing well, just not great. And I think this is definitely a roster that I think can transcend that gap. Just waiting for them to do so. But yeah, it was. I'm glad you mentioned that tip sport qualification, because that was a land that so many teams were really fighting for, and especially for 9, it feels like that is a big litmus test in where the team stands right now, and the temperature check will be heightened at that LAN. I think that's going to be really exciting to watch them there, to see how they perform. But for now, keeping our attention on this game, and I'm not sure what's happening, because Mantu's back in the server, isn't he?
Yeah, maybe just something is getting sorted out. You never know, somebody might have stepped away from the PC, and it is just a little bit of a camera issue. So we are just waiting for that to be done before we can continue. But it's been a good game so far. I mean, 9 have, for what it is worth, and you know, the amount of criticism that we've probably given to 9, the fact that they're 5-5 at this stage is, you know, a credit to them, because I didn't think it would be a 5-5 game the way that Spirit Academy have been playing with the rifles. I really did think that 9, after we seen those first couple of rounds, after how convincing, how clean they were from Spirit Academy, I thought 9 were really going to struggle. But 5-5, still with a big possibility that, you know, they could possibly even leave this half with a 7-5 lead. If they can even get away with a 6-6 here, I don't think they'd be too disappointed. And, I mean, if we're being honest, I really don't even think they're going to be disappointed with 5-2 rounds. I think they might feel that that could be enough. A little bit of a switch up of tempo here to try and get out through A main, as Kragan will find that opening kill, and this is where all kinds of pressure is going to come on this A bomb site, but 9 decide to slow it down. The opening pick, and Spirit Academy panicked, is more than enough of an advantage in this one.
Yeah, no, this is terrific. There is going to be a good reaction from Spirit Academy, and especially Robbo, to smoke into A main and take that control. Same with Cypher over towards B ramp. That is a very well-timed smoke, because 9 were just about to come through it. That nade, however, could have done so much damage, but they moved perfectly. And for Spirit Academy, even though they're in a man's advantage, they've got the right read. Robbo needs to get ahead of this Molo and connector. Does so, but loses the majority of his HP. Kaisuke had to hit those shots, and so does Cypher, so does Robbo. Everyone's missing everything. And Spirit Academy, they have the right read. They have the good reaction after losing their opening kill of Mokajin. But they just miss everything.
Yeah, miss everything because of the Utah. Utah was perfect, right? I mean, we're gonna have a look at it on the replay, but you can just see like the flashbangs and also the fights that 9 are giving them. They're horrible, man. Absolutely horrible. The double peek from heaven, one player's like kind of falling down, one player's peeked you back above the ladder, then the flash down towards lower. That player in lower dies. You've seen a player over towards oil die. You're the third player on that B bomb site. Where are you meant to look? Because one's running you down from Thomas. There's 2 that could be possibly peeking you from the back of the bomb site and over from heaven as well. It's just absolutely capitulates in a matter of seconds. And 9 ridiculous entries and just a well worked round, in all honesty.
Final round of the half now. 9. They're going to come clashing in Ivy with 3, and the swing is just magnificent. Mokujin and Kaisuke, even before the flashbang pops, have already brought everyone down. Alcrim, 1 tag with the scout, 2 tag with the scout. Bob XD now left by his lonesome over on this B bomb site. And I'm not sure that play was supposed to go how it went, because, you know, the flashbang popped after everyone had died on 9. But it worked, and that's all that matters. And it's going to be a dead even half going on to 9's CT side. Where do you put this then, Jack, if it's 6-6 at the half?
Pistol. Pistol's very important for 9, I would say, more than anything. Oh, they line up. That's horrible. We're just looking at that one on the replay. I think it's still an interesting game, right, Freddie? I really do. In terms of, I think it is obviously all to play for at 6-6, but I still think the way that Spirit Academy are playing, it's going to suit them a lot more on the T side, because they can play at their own pace. They can, you know, choose their own tempo. 9 have been, you know, getting a lot of results due to kind of these like pop and aggressive rounds. As for Spirit Academy, now it is just kind of down to them doing what they do best, running around, aggressive, taking fights, trying to find headshots, and trying to find success.
It's going to be a difficult retake for 9. They do have the kit and smoke, but they don't have the numbers anymore. Riles is still alive. He's the main man to watch. 9 just need to crack through. They need an opening, and they're not being given anything. They're being suffocated. And Mantu on 6 HP, he does love a little safe kill, doesn't he? So, could get one, but unfortunately, the AWP nullified. And Spirit Academy, I think that answers a lot of your questions, isn't it, Jack?
Man, they didn't even take a hell point of damage. Everybody was on 100 HP there.
Instant headshots.
Nobody took a single bit of damage in that round. But that's what... Look, it's only a pistol, so look, we'll give 9 the benefit of the doubt here. If they lose this round, though, we're talking Spirit Academy getting up onto, you know, 9, possibly even 10 for nothing. And Spirit Academy, it looks like they're going to try and send it out towards A. Wonderful util, though. Kaisuke tagged down low, but it doesn't matter. Mokutin just lines up 2 heads. Their Spirit Academy are making it look easy, and even though it's a really nice idea, Kaisuke is still standing. Your nades mean nothing to him. He is so low, and he's still picking up kills. And Spirit Academy, they just roll over 9.
What can you do? What can you do?
Like, you try and neutralize him. He's on 5 HP. Mokutin gets that double. Bob XD can't connect on the shot. Like, he's still finding kills on 5 HP. And he wasn't the only one tagged down because of the util as well. Spirit Academy were so low, but it's just like these guys have no fear.
Oh, yeah, they play, like, it's like the... I feel like when you go through Spirit Academy,